the 65 Podcast. I'm Dorian.
I'm Phoenicia.
And our special guest here at the Union League Club of Chicago, it is the one and only Larry Roberts.
Hey, Larry.
Jr.
Larry Roberts Jr.
Yeah, notice I didn't say senior. Larry Roberts Jr. here with us, who's been a member here at the Union League Club of Chicago. So, Larry, let's kind of first talk about it. How long have you been a member?
Oh, April coming up to be 3 years.
Wow, 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what made you join?
A friend of mine thought that, time to go to another level. Of course, I still belong to other clubs like, Lifetime, and I go to a trainer at another gym. So, but it's kind of, the direction that I'm going in life as far as business and just kind of, having a different mentality. You just thought it would be a good idea if I would join down here. Mm-hmm. So I have some, great people to network with and all that kind of stuff. So,
right, because there's so many different options.
Absolutely.
The Union League Club has been around for such a long time. It's one of the top clubs in the city and then even in the world. So tell us about the networking here at the club as far as people that may say, what is this building? What do we do over here?
So, there are people who could possibly frown at some of the work that I do, if you will, which is not bad. But my point being is that you have a network of people who are attorneys and doctors and you name it, just kind of like that part of the professional, genre, if you will. But then you have me who, I'm in the hair care industry. That's part of what I do. I'm ready to open up my own credit union. That's another thing that I do. So I'm a professional musician. I have a shoe and clothing line. I have a men's hair care product. I have businesses inside of Walmart. I have an automotive school of technology, right? So I'm on another side of that when, they're pretty much only planted as being, lawyers, which is good, mm-hmm. doctors, accountants, and stuff like that. So there's a different spectrum that I'm in, but I'm able to have a balance, if you will.
Well, that's a good point. So I was going to ask you, being in the hair care and musician, sort of a creative field, mm-hmm. as opposed to doctor, lawyer, judge, mm-hmm. how are your interactions and your networking going here at the club?
They love me.
They love him.
And I love them too.
He is loved.
Right, because I know.
Did you expect to get that, though, when you got here?
So I'm the type of person that I can fit in anywhere, right? And I'm not going to let anybody, make me feel anything less than who I know that I am, mm-hmm. right? I always tell people, man, it'll blow your mind, the numbers that I have in my phone, the people who I've come in contact with. And see, I'm going to go back to, do you know what the red, white, and blue barber pole stand for?
Can I answer this?
Come on, let's answer it.
Okay, so what I've been told is back in the day when it was almost a sign of where you can go in and get to be aided during the war. Am I correct? In the situations where, I don't know, this is what I heard. And that signal, once remember the war, people that were in the war saw it, there was a place where they knew, and not just to get assistance like with hair and grooming, it was for other things. Am I correct?
So I'm going to give you what the red, white, and blue barber pole stands for.
I was wrong.
So, no, well, I mean, you're kind of down in the lane, right? So people drive past barbershops, and they see the red, white, and blue barber pole spinning, right? Mm-hmm. Not really knowing what that means. The first haircut was done 5,000 BC. So we are the oldest profession in the world. And the red stand for blood, the blue stand for veins, the white stand for bandages, and the ball on the bottom is called a basin. We were doctors and dentists back in the day, and our professional name was a tonsorial artist, but it wasn't until later on in 1800s when they separated the professions. So in my industry, you have to learn about blood pathogens, you have to learn about electricity and light therapy, we have to learn chemistry, we have to learn about microbiology, we have to learn about folliculitis, all of these things, and we can be responsible for somebody's death sitting in our chair. Mm-hmm. So what we do is very, very important. We have to learn about AIDS, HIV, hepatitis, A, B, C, right? But a lot of people, they minimize us because of our postures inside of the shop, which is where I come in. So I have 8 schools. First person to ever open up a school inside of a county jail. So I've been in Cook County Jail now for this year, make 15 years. I've had a barber school inside of Cook County Jail.
That's amazing.
I deal with the men and the women. I have schools inside of the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice with Governor Pritzker, right? So I've been in there for going on 5 years now. I have my master instructor license in over 22 states. I have shops inside of Walmart.
Have you started that already?
What's that?
The Walmart shops?
I've been in Walmart.
Okay, I think I've seen you.
I've been in Walmart for like what, 3 years now.
Yeah, okay, I know. I've seen him. Mm-hmm.
So, and then I play music professionally. So I have my own record company and stuff like that. But I get it from my dad. My dad played organ for a lot of the gospel greats back in the day. You know, he was around Thomas Dorsey and James Cleveland and Albertina Walker. So I've traveled the world playing drums and keyboards. I'm a songwriter as well. So I just kind of, be a little low key, kind of stay to myself. You know what I'm saying?
You seem like an always low key guy. For people that don't know, probably one of the best dressed. This guy comes in with
not probably.
Yeah, the best dressed.
He won the best sneakers.
In
athletics, Christmas party.
And I'm not surprised because he designs his own sneakers.
Speaking of which, Astro Kicks
and Goods. Yeah, and my newer brand is J Lero, which is a subsidiary of Astro Kicks and Goods, because I needed to come up with a cheaper version that I'm trying to put in like Targets and Walmarts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So,
growing up in Chicago, and because you have a book, people don't know, you have a great book, and I think that you need to kind of promote that book like you're doing. This will be a great time because everything that you've already kind of mentioned is in the book. But growing up in the city of Chicago as an African American male, what was that like?
So, the way I started cutting hair is my dad decided he wanted to build a house out in the suburbs when I was in 5th grade, right? So I don't like the suburbs. I still claim the city because I'm a city dude, right? And on my business, I've been in the city. I've been in business for like 31 years, and I'm actually 50 years old. Mm-hmm. And when there was nobody around to cut my hair that looked like me, I went to Walgreens and bought a pair of clippers for $19.99, and I started cutting my own hair. And I've been cutting hair for 37 years now. I had a barbershop in my basement. I had another chair in there. I had another guy cutting hair with me in my basement when I was a teenager. So I was charging $3, and I ended up going up to $5 in my basement, right? I was in high school.
Moving on up. Yeah.
I was in high school walking around with $300-$400 in my pocket all the time from cutting hair. But then my dad had restaurants. My dad used to own Larry's Ribs back in the day.
Larry's Ribs.
So
where was Larry's Ribs?
It was out. Well, we had one on 107th and State at first, and then we actually moved it out to the suburb in Matson. Mm-hmm. And then we were in Stager. We had one on 95th and Jeffrey, and we had one in Chicago Heights as well. So I used to work in my dad's restaurants 40, 50, 60 hours a week for free.
Wow.
He told me he was going to pay me. I clock in, but he never paid me. You know what I'm saying?
That's how they do.
That's how they do. You already know it.
But he taught me to sweat equity. This is what I learned from my dad. Mm-hmm. Like, get up early. Like, I get up 3, 4, 5 o'clock every morning, man. I can't help it, you know?
They say the early bird catches the worm.
I used to start cutting hair at 4 in the morning. Sometimes I would cut hair from 4 in the morning until 1 o'clock the next morning, right? 25 to 38 heads a day. The most heads I ever cut in one day was 48 heads.
So these are your friends that you're doing this for? Neighbors?
No, I'm talking about when I went to barber school when I was a senior in high school. So I told my parents this is what I wanted to do. I was 17 years old when I went to barber school, and I opened up my first barbershop at 19 with my own money. Wow. So basically, I've been in business since I've been 19 years old. So 31 years, going on 32 years that I've been in business.
Doing what you love to do.
Doing what I love to do. And see, I'm that celebrity barber. Like, I was Judge Mathis' barber for a whole year. Yeah. I did Mekhi Phifer. I did, people, NFL, baseball, basketball. Ramsey Lewis was like a dad to me till he passed. Like, yes. So I've cut everybody. People in the music industry. I was the musician. I was the barber on tour, whether we was overseas and all that kind of stuff, man. So we touch a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of people really don't know that, but,
And hair is important, like, especially for, a lot of people.
It's economy proof.
But people want to always look good. You
and,
always
and feel
be
good, and it makes you feel good.
I was actually feeling a little certain kind of way before we even got on this podcast,
right?
Because I felt like, my hair, this is the good. But Larry was like, "I'll cut your hair here."
Right.
And nothing wrong with your hair.
Well, thank you very much.
He can get you looking.
He can make me pop,
crispy,
and look, and that's that crispiness that we all kind of look for.
Absolutely. And one of the things too is that here being at the club, like a lot of people, like. And which we all have the right, but sometimes people like prejudge us. They really don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm the type of person like I don't like anybody to bother me because I don't bother anybody. I'm cordial to everybody. I'm kind to everybody. My parents raised me well. I'm that yes ma'am and no ma'am type dude. And they try and judge you and maybe minimize who you may be when there are other people who their posture may be different. So for me, and I don't judge anybody who do, but I've never had a drink. I don't smoke.
It's amazing.
I've never used drugs. I've never did none of the above. You know what I'm saying? I eat healthy. You know, I take care of myself. I play basketball. I play squash, and I play, you know, right, all of that, right?
I'm seeing the pictures, yeah.
And a lot of people don't believe that I'm 50 years old. And I'm like, well, I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, you know, we grew up playing, in my era, we grew up playing every sport.
We did.
Everything, you know what I'm saying?
It's amazing you said that.
And we were taught to be respectful as well. It's certain things that you just didn't do. You know, even as a child, and I have to tell people now because they don't know how old I am. Like, you know, you got these young men and women, man. They cursing in front of people, and you know they're just doing things that they shouldn't be doing in front of adults. When we were afraid to say and do anything.
Or your friend would say, "Stop! There's a woman there.
Absolutely,
Stop! There's somebody's grandma," and you wouldn't do it.
Which is what I teach inside of the shops. It's almost like, you know, greet people when they come in. You know, like make sure your posture's on point. Me, I love to smell nice. I love to keep myself together. I get my nails and my feet done right, and it's very, very important. So, you know, people try and judge you, but they really don't know that. Kind of got your stuff together, you know what I'm saying?
They don't know the person. They don't know the person.
And that's what these podcasts are for.
Right.
So we can get people can get to know members a little bit better.
And then too, it's like they, you know, I feel like sometimes people try and put you in this box based on, you know, and I just have to say, it's like you can't say I have some holes in my jeans, and I can't eat on a certain floor because I have a hole in my jeans that I didn't put there. Code. Right. I understand that, right? Which I totally get. But my point being is that I abide by those rules and regulations. But the thought of, well, man, I would love to get something to eat, but I got a rip in my jeans, so I can't get something to eat because I'm going to be looked at anything other than the person that I am, right? So are you judging me about my outer, which I believe in rules and regulations? Are you judging me on my outer? Or are you judging my heart? Are you judging the inside of it? So sometimes I feel like there needs to be exceptions, or some things need to change accordingly because of the fact that you can lose a lot of people. It's almost like church, right? I was growing up, my dad, you know, he just retired as bishop. My grandmother was a pastor. I was born on.
You grew up in the church.
I grew up in the church, you know, on the church pew, and it was a lot of do's and don'ts, right? And it wasn't no such thing as I don't feel like going today.
Went every Sunday.
Everybody had to get up. I was in church 4 or 5 days a week, okay?
Yeah,
I got sick of it. I had to get saved every Friday night.
Come
I got
on.
sick of it.
Come on.
So at the end of the day, nowadays, kids have choices, right? So with that being said, it's like you run people away trying to force them. You got to wear, like, I had to have a tie on. Like, I used to wear oak tree suits back in the day, right? Without no collar. And I had my polka dot shirt on. And if I'm on the Oregon plant, my grandma would be like, where's your tie at?
Yeah.
I had to go down to the cold room.
Had to wear skirts. They couldn't come in with
couldn't wear
pants.
pants. Like, my mama still don't wear pants. My mama's 71. My mom do not wear pants to this day, right? So my point being is that, you know, do you want to win my heart and my soul, or are you more interested in, I got a hat on my head, or I got an earring in my ear, or, you know, I came in with shorts on, I don't have no tie on?
Are you saying it's targeting a specific group?
I think that it targets, in that case, I think it deters certain people, and it makes people not want to be a part, right, versus having a balance. And I feel, honestly, here at Union League Club, I feel like I help create some sort of balance here, you know what I'm saying, because I'm respectful, you know, I keep myself together, you know, I know when, you know, I'm not over the top, I try and make friends with everybody, but I don't like when if somebody mess with me and I haven't did anything, you know what I'm saying?
No.
I don't like that.
What about the slippery slope, though? Because then you say, okay, we allow this, but then it becomes somebody's always pushing the boundaries. And if you just say no, you know, flat out. Then.
Well, I feel like it depends, right? So considering the fact that, for example, if you have to be dressed a certain way, let's just say to eat on 4, right? It's more than likely because of the way I dress and because, you know, like I put on a suit and tie on and hurt the game, right?
You always do.
I wore suits and ties in high school every day. That's not a problem. But if I'm coming down here on some chill and I got my jeans on, whether they a $500 pair of jeans or whatever the case may be, it might have a rip on it, and because that's the day. But I say, well, man, I want to get something to eat, but I can't eat here today because I have some holes in my jeans. So let me go get in my car and let me go eat somewhere else. I don't like feeling like that. Basically, is what I'm saying.
How often do you think that happens?
Every time I'm here. Every time I'm here. And I have a pair of pants in my locker that I can slip on, but I don't want to change how my outfit look. So more than likely, if I'm forced to do that, which I probably did that one time, I prefer not to do that. So I'll leave out the club and I'll go get something to eat somewhere else when I need to eat, or lunch, or I'll stop in here and get me like a little, energy drink, like the little cayenne pepper drink or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. So, so the slippery slope you're talking about, I just do my best to, abide by the rules and regulations.
Which he always does. You always take care of that, and I see that always in you. Let's talk about this book.
Okay.
What's the name of the book?
Out of the Ashes I Rise.
Out of the Ashes I Rise. How did you come up with that title?
So people don't people don't know. Like I've dealt with suicide before. You know what I'm saying? People may not know, and I don't have a problem talking about it. I got molested as a baby. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's like sometimes you're able to help other people to come out of whatever they were in when you tell your story, because they look at you not really knowing what you went through, right? And sometimes we wear this thing like we ain't never been through nothing and we're all good, but a lot of times we're not good, right?
We're not good.
So, and it helped me to learn, because I used to be judgmental, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't agree with the way somebody lived their life, it's like, ooh, because in church, come on now, if you wasn't like this, then, you're not living right? Right? So, but I had to learn, and when I realized that certain things that went on in my life caused me to, let me just call it what it is. I was a womanizer, you know what I'm saying? But it was something that came from, but I didn't know it until I went and got professional help. Why am I so angry all the time? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? So when I tried to judge the alcoholics and the drug addicts, it's like, okay, well, what you doing? It's really the same thing. You're going because you're hurting, so you're going to get something to heal that hurt, but that's only temporary, right? So I don't want a temporary fix. I want something that's going to permanently fix my issue. So a lot of times we don't want to go and get help, but I went and got the help that I needed just to sit down and talk to a professional, like, what is going on with me? Why am I so angry? And come to that realization. So I wanted to write the book because of the fact that I was at a point in my life where, I thought that God hated me, if you will, right? And I thought that because in church you were taught that if you live right, heaven belongs to you. Treat your neighbor right, heaven belongs to you, right? But faith without works is dead, and we have to go through in order to get to, but it's how you deal with what you go through that determines how you come out, right? So I always say we have to be careful we don't allow our gift to take us a place that our character can't handle. Well, I thought just because I was a hard worker, got up, I'm always on time, like I'm never late for anything, always on time, always have my stuff together. And I was wondering, like, why I'm not blessed? Why stuff ain't happening good for me, right? But I wasn't able to handle where God was taking me. And had he given me in my early 20s what he's showing me and giving me now, I might have lost it and been 50 years old trying to do everything I can to get it back. So I wasn't really ready at the time, right? I thought I was, but I wasn't ready. But I had to look at it. You don't go and buy a BMW and you can only afford a Grand Am, and then when the repo man come, you're trying to blame it on God, right? So I'm sitting up here thinking God got a problem with me. It was like, no, you ain't got it together. You know what I'm saying? You changing the rims on your truck like they underwear, but you ain't even paid your rent for your barbershop. Or you ain't even, or I will put all these rims and sounds on in my car and Batman wing on there and all this, that, and the other. But my dad said, but you won't even put no alarm on your car, and they keep trying to steal it.
Right.
Like, how does that even make sense, right? And when I came to that realization, I was like, dang, okay, because I thought it was certain things I had to do in order for, like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't curse, I'm a good dude, I pay my tithes and offering in church, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Why am I not being blessed? It's like, bro, God bless who he want to bless, when he want to bless me, how he want to bless him. So I'm not caught up in religion. It's about relationship. And once I learned that and really got that up under my belt, then I stopped trying to be so careful to walk this straight and narrow line and understand that I'm a human being and we all sin and fall short, right? So I don't care if you're Christian, Buddhist, Muslim. I done been with Minister Farrakhan before. I done been with them all, man. Man, hey, as long as you teaching me to be a good person, to love your neighbors, get up, work hard, take care of your family. You're not telling me nothing wrong. So people misconstrue religion versus relationship, man. So my book, I really wanted to expound on that so people can see, because people look at you and I always wear it well, but then I would go home and be balled up in depression and darkness.
And just kind of keeping it in.
But when I would call people and tell them, hey, man, I'm hurting, they didn't believe me because I never showed any sign of going through anything.
And you were probably calling those people that you probably trust and people that you knew that you
like,
could go
I'm gonna pray
and
for
those
you.
people even were like,
I'm gonna pray for you.
That's a good one. That's a go-to right there.
I'm gonna pray for you. Right.
Tell me about the kids at the college. Where are those kids from mostly?
So, I have Title IV like regular for a university. So people can do it faster to come to my schools. So it's not just anybody. You got old and young. Of course, you got a lot of people out of high school, but then you have people in their 20s, 30s, 40s who come to school because, we're a $547 billion industry. But the issue is that people don't take us serious because we don't do some of the things. Like my employees, people that work for me in Walmart, they get W-2s. They pay taxes. They got a front desk staff. They got to wear a uniform. Everything is professional. And some of them are making six figures, right? But a lot of us don't have life policies. We don't have insurance policies for our medical, dental, and stuff like that. So these are part of the things that I teach. And I have a non-for-profit as well. So Data Foundation, Inc. is my non-for-profit where we do mentoring, life skills, mental health, substance abuse. I deal with the seniors. I deal with the veterans. I don't wait to back to school to do free haircuts. I do free services every fourth Tuesday of the month. It's like I'm just trying to do everything I can to help a person to deal with who they are versus just a skill. Again, we have to be careful we don't allow our gift to take us places our character can't handle. So you can be the greatest barber in the world, but if you're always late, if you don't go to work, this, that, and the other. So people think that it's a free-for-all, man, but you got to go to work and do what you need to do. Right? And most of us don't do that, which is why I'm opening up my credit union, because I'll have products for people. Come be a member, and I have some products for you so that way when it's time for you to buy that house, when it's time for you to buy that car, then you have all your ducks lined up in a row. This is like I'm the first person in my industry. They're going to break ground in April, but I'm going to build a barber school from the ground. From the ground up, 105th and Hosted. So
105th and Hosted,
wow.
So I own
talking about that.
So I own that building right there, but I'm going to add on to it. So I'm going to take away most of the parking lot, and I'm going to build on there. So I'm opening up esthetician, cosmetology, and a nail school on the other part of the parking lot, and I'm building from the ground. And I'm the first person in my industry to ever do that.
That's
right?
wonderful.
It's amazing.
And the banks, what I realized is that the banks didn't believe me. They don't believe us, should I say. And the reason they don't believe us because our paper trail don't add up the way it need to. But when they ran into me, it was a different story. But that's from the structure and the discipline that I was forced to have because I'm trying to figure out, like, man, why am I going through this, right? So to be 50 years old and tell my bank I don't have no personal credit. I don't have no personal debt. I don't have no personal debt, man. What else do you want me to tell you? I didn't want anything to impede on me being able to take care of my businesses because it don't feel good to be in business. You have a good business, but then you have to call and ask people, can you borrow money? I need money to make payroll. I need money for this. I need money for that. So I set myself up where I didn't allow my personal life to interfere with me being able to pay and take care of my employees. And you're supposed to take care of the people that take care of you.
This is true.
So,
wow,
great. That's good stuff.
So such a great story. And then we need this. How can we get this book for those who are looking? How do we buy this book?
Amazon. You can go to LarryRobertsJr.com and you can get the book, off my personal site, or you can get it on Amazon. But it's Out of the Ashes I Rise, and my other book is Suicide Is Not the Answer, which is my first book. So that's kind of like a offset of my first book.
It's outstanding. So we know that you have all of those wonderful things that are happening, the building of the new construction out there on Hosted. Where does Larry see himself in the next 10 years?
I'll be a billionaire.
You heard it.
I'll be a billionaire.
Okay. And I will be with him. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
we'll be working somewhere with him.
I want everybody to go.
Yeah, I know, right?
I want everybody to go. So.
Can I ask, to circle back to the club, do you tell your friends about the Union League Club?
I do tell my friends about the Union League Club, but I can honestly say sometimes I don't want to bring some of my friends down.
Okay.
Because of the fact that I don't want them to be looked at, not that they're bad friends, but you know what I'm saying, sometimes people, like, everybody don't know how to be on chill the way I know how to be on chill. Like, I know I'm very jovial. I know how to laugh and talk, but I also know how to bring it back as well, right? And, I just don't want anybody to get a bad vibe, whether I bring them down to play ball or whatever the case may be, and somebody looking at them crazy because they really don't know how to. Because I have my millionaire friends, but then I have my friends too who,
your guys.
Hood, you know what I'm saying?
These are guys.
But me, I'm kind of, I wouldn't really say I'm a loner more so than. For where I'm going and what I'm doing, I really don't hang with people a lot like that, man. I be on my business. Like I'm trying to get it, man. I want to buy me an airplane.
I know.
Like for real.
I see this. Yeah.
So is the Union League Club just like your safe space for you?
It's a safe space for me. It is because, and somebody said, like when I be shooting ball by myself outside of when I'm playing with the guys, they say, man, you do this because you be in thought. Yeah, I do. So for me, like I've had membership at Lifetime Fitness for over 25 years now, almost 30 years. I've had a membership at Lifetime Fitness, which I still do. But that's different than the Union League Club. I got my own personal locker here. I come in, and it's more chill.
It's your home away from home.
It's my home away from home. It's my home away from home.
That's the whole thing.
And then back downtown too. It's like it's like in the middle of everything. So it's like I can stop down here. I don't have to worry about bringing, my toiletries. All my stuff is in my locker. So and they wash my stuff and put it back. So it's very, very convenient for what I needed to be. Like I had to go to my trainer today. So because I had to go to my trainer today,
right.
It's like I got to shower outside of that facility, so I got to go somewhere different and make it difficult for me, man, like so bad. But a Union League Club, I would tell anybody, like I think that this is a great club to come to. But I just would say that Union League Club need to, get a little bit more relaxed in a couple areas to make it where, people feel free to come here. And I feel like if somebody is not doing something that's up to par, take the time out to teach them. Don't be mean to people. Not saying that people are mean, but you get what I'm saying. It's like teach them. Like I don't let people beat up on my students. When people are from a certain demographic, but they want to come and better their lives, you don't kick them out because they're not like you, who you think that they are. You bring them in and say, hey, man, you know what? If you do this like this a little bit and tweak this, then, you'll be good. And I feel like if you're willing to do that, then I think it'll make for people to want to be a part. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not inexpensive to be a member here. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of expensive to be a member here. So everybody can't. I'm on the banana peel a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. You're getting sort of billionaire status.
Yes, you are, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Well, we really appreciate you even taking the time.
Thank you for
to come
having
by
me.
To be on the 65 podcast with Phoenicia and myself, and we wish you all the much success in all your great endeavors, because you know that you're not done. You keep going.
I'm going.
You have that energy and you have that. But we really appreciate you even sharing that, because even through this podcast, you can help people through messaging and some of the things that you talked about, because we don't talk about a lot of stuff like depression or mental illness.
But it's real,
back
though.
in the day, it was taboo to even talk about those things, but it's so real. But we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Larry, the barber over here. That's going to do it for the 65 podcast.
Hopefully that was good.
It was great.
Have a great day.